Hello? Hello? All right. Those of us here, can you please hear me? If you can hear me, please just say yes. Send a message to say yes, so I know you can hear me. Are we ready to start? I want to see a response so I know that we are ready. Those of us here. Yes, I have Eugenia saying yes. What more? Who else can hear my voice? Let me know if you can hear me. Let me know if you can hear me so we kickstart this thing. Okay, so Nehemiah can hear me. Okay, so should we give a few minutes to those, a yes or a no, if you want? Okay, so let's go into it quickly. The first question that I have is, what is the address of Bello Asibo? Now, this name, definitely we have a name of employee, and then we have an address. And when you combine these two things together, you should know that you will find them in the employee table. If we open on the employee table and we look at the columns over there, you can see employee name over here, employee name over here, and then we can see their address. So we are writing a query that looks for Bello Azibo, uh, Bello Azibo's address. So since we are looking for address, we don't select all, we select the particular address or the column that we need the results to be returned from. And then we say from which table we are looking at, the employee table, because that is where the data is contained. Now, I know some of you may be asking a question, why am I not referring to the database, which is the MD Water Services? You can see I have put this particular query over here. Once I have this query at the top over here, or once I have the schema highlighted, which is the database highlighted, I can write any code without having to put the MD Water Services in front of it, and it will still work. So with this, we say where what employee name is equal to Bello Azibo. Then we can execute this. Once we execute this, we should be able to have the answer. And then we can go to the multiple choice answers that have been provided and look for which one is identical with what answer we have. So I'm going to execute the query again, and then you can see Bello Asibo per our query is returning this particular address. You can also go and check if you are not satisfied with the answer that you are having, whether you want to see whether it is right or not. I can put Bello Azibo over here. Bello Azibo here. And let me see what happens. You can see when I search for Bello Azibo, it gave me this particular address. So it means that our query is actually effective. So that brings us or resolves our question number 1, or whichever question it will be for us. So once you have you understand, I want you to understand, we are not only looking for answers to the questions, we are not only looking at scoring 100, we are looking at how we are able to generate the answers so that in the future, when we come across similar questions, we will be able to do or to repeat the same thing that we have done over there. So let's go to the second question. Let's go to the second question. Let's go to the second question, which is, what is the name and phone number of our microbiologist? What is the name and the phone number of our microbiologist? Okay, so do we have in the same employee table, we have name here. So when we are asking for name, it means that we can always come to what? The employee table. Then what again did the question say? Phone number. We can also see phone number over here as one of the columns. Or if you go to the columns here, you can see that name and phone number are one or two of the columns that can be found under employment. Under employment. So let's see that. Let's go to our question. So we are looking for the phone number of our microbiologist, his name and phone number. It means that we are going to query the same employee table. This time we select, we're looking for his employee name and employee or his phone number. Now, so we are asking the system to return employee name and phone number from where? The employee table, where what? Position is equal to microbiologist. Very simple. So our query is saying, go into the employee table, bring me employee name and phone number of the person bearing the position of a microbiologist. So this is what we have. Let's execute this one over here, and then let's see what it returns. So here we are. Like I said, I am not here to show you answers. I am here to help all of us understand how I came by the answers that I had. And like I said again, I'm going up to look at the question, what is the name and phone number of our microbiologist? So whenever you have a question like this, the first thing you ask yourself is, which of the tables have this particular information? The dictionary table, as a dictionary, gives you a directory of all the tables and what they consist. So if for any reason you don't know where to find or which table to refer to, you can write another code where you query the data dictionary to tell you which table actually has the name or phone number, and then where you can find microbiologist. And then you will see that it will return employee table for you, so that you can now query it to find out the name and then phone number. So we're going to number 3. We're going to number 3. If you think I'm moving too fast, please let me know before I leave my valuable people behind. So please, if you think that I'm moving too fast, please let me know so that we move at the same pace. So by our second question, we know that the name of that biologist, microbiologist, is actually is it Vuisil Gadre, something like that, and then phone number is over there. Let me put a little detail or throw light on a little detail here. Now you will see that in the question itself, they put the word microbiologist together. In the question itself, they put the word microbiologist together. But then when you go into the table itself, what it has over there, it is not microbiologist that is together. So if you put it like that, you will see that the query will return an error, or it will not return anything for you. Let's just try it so that we understand what I'm saying. So let's just say it is microbiologist like this, and then let's see if we get the answer. So it gives you something like this. It actually brings you the employee name and phone number without values, which means that there actually no such thing. So once you break it as it is in the table, you are very sure to have your answer correct after executing the query. I'm moving to question number uh, 3, like I said. So what is the source ID of the water source shared by the most number of people? What is the source ID of the water source shared by the most number of people? Then there is a hint attached to the question. Use a comparison operator. So we are looking for source ID, and then we are looking for the one that serves the most number. We can find this information, the source ID, and then the number of people served. We have the number of people served. So our answer will be in. All right, let's continue. Sometimes we have some. Let's see my screen and get. Okay, noted. Noted. I will just go and then do the. I guess it should be showing now. I guess it should be showing now. Awesome. Okay. So we are on the question number 3. So like I said, we are looking for the source ID of the water source shared by most number of people. And I said that the number of people served and then source ID can be found in the water source table. So whatever query we are writing, if we are not querying the water source table, we will not have the right answer. Okay, so let's look at our query as I've written it here. Now, so we are looking for the source ID, and then we are looking for the number of people saved. But the number of people saved, because the various source IDs are spread over, some were visited a couple of times and blah, blah, blah. If you go to the table, let me just open that table in a bit so that we see what I'm talking about. This is what we have here. And you can see that under the water source and the various IDs, they have various figures that have been allocated to some of them. For instance, if you look at tap in home here and then tap in home there, they share different IDs and then they have different numbers as well. So how do we know which of them is the highest all put together? That is where we are coming to. So I use the sum operator and then I put the number of people served into a bracket. So for each of the unique source IDs that we have, I am asking that the system sums up the number of people that have been served or were served by that particular source ID. By that particular source ID. And then I want to search for it from the water source table, like I said earlier. And then I want it grouped by the source ID, because I want to see the source ID side by side, the number of people served. You can ignore that and go straight away and look for, which means that you can look at only the sum of number of people served and so on and so forth, and you will still have this answer. Now, I have grouped them by the source ID, and then I order it by the sum. So I order the results by the sum of the number of people served. And I ask the system to put it in a descending order, which means that I want it from the highest to the lowest, because what we want is the most. So the one that will appear at the top will then be my answer. So let me execute this query and see what it returns. So you can see it has grouped the various source IDs, and then it is sum up all what they have. So if, for instance, this source ID had a couple of numbers within the table that they have solved, by this query, all is put together. If it doesn't have any, it has only one, then it will return the one for us. But if it has, let's say, 3, 4, 5, or in thousands or whatever, it will sum up everything and then arrange them in the descending order. So by this, clearly we can see that we have two source IDs that are supposed to be at the top, because this is 3998 and then this one is also 3998. So either of the first two, if you want me to limit it to, I can limit this to, let's say, 5. I can limit it to 5 and execute it. I don't want to see everything. So this is what has been returned to me. So I have the first two. So if you don't see the first ID, you should be able to see what the second ID in as one of the answers that will show, because both of them have the same number of people saved. All right, so we go on to the fourth question. Question number 4. What is the population of Maji Ndogo? Hint: Start by searching the data dictionary table for the word population. Start by searching the data dictionary table for the word population. So we are asked that we should look at the data dictionary table, and then we should look for the word population, which will give us an idea what or where we can find our Maji Ndogo. So this is the first query that I wrote. I select all from the data dictionary where the description, because the data dictionary, let me open it for us to see. The data dictionary actually has a column by name description. That is it. So I wanted to look into the data dictionary where description, like maybe population, whether it is in the middle or at the end, wherever, or beginning, I want that particular uh, return to me, and then see what it is. Okay, so I execute this query to find out, and then this is what was returned to me. There were actually two rows in which population can be found, and you have national. We have table name. The table name is Global Water Access, and the column name is what? National population. The other one is urban population. This is it. So by this, we are getting the clue that we should go into the global water access table for the answer that we are looking for. If we want to see the real population of Maji Ndogo, we should go to the global water access table, because that is where you have a column that has national population, and that is what we are also looking for. So we have to write another query now. We know where we are sending our query, or which of the tables we are going to query. So like I said already, the table name is Global Water Access, with the column name the pop_n, a description that is the national population size estimate in thousands. Let's pay attention. They say the national population is estimated in thousands. So in writing my query, I am not selecting all because I want national population. And the national population I'm looking for, I'm told that it is expressed in thousands. So if I will have my correct answer, it means that whatever value that will be returned to me, I will want that value to be multiplied by 1,000, just as we did when we're working in the Google Sheets. So right from the onset, I say select the national population figure, multiply it by 1,000. Where are we going to select it from? From the global water access table. And then what is the condition for the selection? Are we looking for all the national population, or we are looking for specific one? We are looking for Maji Ndogo. So we say where name, because if you go to that table, let's go there so that we understand fairly what we are doing. This is a global access table. Sorry, I want to open it so that we see. So you can see we have name, which is like the name of a country name. We have the region. Then we have the national population here. And we are told that it is expressed in thousands. So let's go back and continue with our work. So we are saying where Maji Ndogo, sorry, where name is equal to Maji Ndogo. And then we can now execute our query again and see what is returned to us. So here we are. The calculation has been done for us and the figure is returned. If you look at this, you can see how many figures over here, apart from the one behind the decimal places. there is a way you can write this query also, so that it doesn't return any decimal at all. But then let's just work with this. We are fine. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then we have what? 7, 8, which means that it is 27.628099 near 3. That is what we are having here, because both of these two figures are all, you remember when you go to the table, let's look at what we have here. When you go to the table, you have 2 years for the same. Go here and see if we really have the right. And if we multiply this, we should indeed get the same answer, that of Maji Ndogo. So do the right thing. 27,628,100. Okay, to get. I'm having the indication that my screen is not showing. I'll be back online. Okay, we'll fix it. Sometimes this is what you have. Okay, so here we are back again. Okay, so I believe now. I believe that we all are on the same page. So I don't know where the screen actually went off, but what I was trying to say is that the first thing was that we're given a clue here at the top to go to the data dictionary to find where we have population inside the tables, because population was mentioned. They say they want the population for Maji Ndogo. We don't know which of the tables we may find the word population, or which of the tables we even find the name Maji Ndogo. So the hint is that we go and check the data dictionary for the word Maji Ndogo. So this query does justice to that. When you execute this, it gives you the part of the data dictionary that refers to this national or population. Now, so it tells you the table name, it tells you the column where you can find that, and it gives you a description of what it is. So now we know that if we have to be querying any particular table in our database, MD Water Services, we should be querying the global water access. So we came down here, and then what we found is that they say it is expressed in thousands. This is what we are told. It is actually expressed in thousands. So whatever value we may come up with, if we don't multiply it by 1,000, we will not be getting the right figure. So right from the onset, my query starts by saying the national population should be multiplied by 1,000. And where are we getting this from? We are getting it from the global water access table. Then we say what is the condition that we are giving to it, where name is equal to what? Maji Ndogo. And if you go to the global water access, you will see that this particular query, you can see there is name which represent countries, regions, year, and then you have the national population, and then you have the urban population. So that brings us to the end of that particular question. We move. So we know our answer is 27 1,628,100 if we run it off to the nearest whole number. Excuse me. Sorry. So now let's look at the next question. It says, which SQL query returns records of employees who are civil engineers residing in Dahabu or living in an avenue? So residing in Dahabu or living in an avenue. So we have given some clues. Whenever we see the question, our focus should be on the clues that the question is giving us. We can write a query to query a particular database. If it contains only a single table, we can query that table directly. If it contains multiple tables, then the question should give us a hint of which particular table we should be querying in that particular database. So if we reading the question again, it says, which SQL query returns records of employees who are civil engineers residing in the Habu or living in an avenue? We have employees over here, and we have civil engineers, and then we have names and residents and so on. These particular data we can find in the employee table, which I believe that we are aware of. So let me execute this query again. You can see we have employee name, we have address, we have province, we have town, and then we have their position. So if we go back, we'll see that the right table to query will be our employee table. So let's go slowly. So we are selecting all from where? The employee table. What are the conditions? What are the conditions? Where position is equal to what? Civil engineer. Always remember that if you are referring to something that is already in the table, you have to put it in quotation, whether single quotation or double, it works. Now, this is what we have, but then we are also told of other conditions. But those conditions, one of them may have to be right. And we know that in the SQL, when we are given two conditions and one may have to be right for us to proceed, then we use the OR operator. But if both will have to be correct, then we have to use the AND operator. So by the question, we are told that constantly civil engineer or position should be civil engineer. But then when it comes to the province name or address, we can do with one of them. Either it returns avenue or an address that have avenue in it, or it returns a province that is by name the Habu. That is it. So this is our query. Let's execute this and see what it returns to us for question number 5. So here we are. Here we are. There are actually two records that we have here. So if you are looking for the name, so let's see which of the two favors or answers to all the conditions. So we have civil engineer here or civil engineer there, and we have the Habu here. So this guy meets the condition. We have civil engineer here, and then we have avenue also here, which means that this guy also meets the condition of the query. That is why this thing have been returned. So you look at it and then select which of them is the right answer as provided. Which of it is the right answer as provided? Per the query that we have written, we have Django Rudo satisfying both conditions, even to the extent that is getting the third one. Both the all statement have been gotten. The Habu is here, and then Avenue is in there. Then you come to Nea Vaisil. I don't know whether I'm mentioning these names well, but that is what I can make of the name I see there. Okay, so I believe by now you know what to do. So I'm moving to question number 6. I'm moving to question number 6. Like I said, what we are here to do is to go step by step to understand what is expected of us from that particular or those questions. Our aim is not necessarily to score all of them, but then to leave this um, discussion understanding what exactly is expected of us and how we can repeat those same steps in the future when we are called upon. So let's go on. Let's proceed. Question number 6 says, create a query to identify potentially suspicious field workers based on an anonymous tip. This is the description we are given. The employee's phone number contain the digits 86 or 11. The employee's last name started with either an A or an M. And then what again? Say the employee was a field surveyor. Which option is correct? So this is a mouthful. This is a very long one, eh? Okay, so let me drop this to the next. And then remember that anytime you are writing something that is not part of your query, if you do not introduce these 2 dashes with a space, the query takes this as part of. Write anything, ensure that you put the short dashes, whatever expression, what will be the best of approaches. So we are basically asked to go into the database. Yes, this is what we are told. So the first criteria is that the person or the people A or M. So if we have I see we are back. We are having a little connection problems, so I think we should be good by now. Okay, so we are back, I believe. I believe we are back now, eh? Please let me know if we are back online again. Is my screen showing? Awesome. Okay, so Madiala, or is it Madlala? Awesome. So we move. So I'm trying to break down question number 6 for understanding, and then we can look at what approach will give us the results that we are looking for. So I said that we are asked to look for some suspicious um, field workers. It is suspected that they are field surveyors. It is also suspected that their employee's name either begins with an A or M. And then we are also told that these suspicious characters or employees or field workers may also have phone numbers that have either 86 or 11 in them. So we are going to write a code to query our database to find out if there are actually people that fit this particular description. So let's go down. So we are selecting all from which of the tables. We know that if we want records on employees, then we are looking at the employee table. So that's where we are going. So we are selecting all from the employee table. Where, what are the conditions? Remember, there's one condition that is very constant, which is they have to be field surveyors. So we put that one first. Now, any of the two conditions that were given can fit one person or another. So the first thing is to look for field surveyors and look for any of these two situations. Whether the employee name, like they say, starts with A. So this is the expression for the starts with A. Or the name start with what? M. This is how I express it. This is how I put that expression. And again, we also want to see their phone numbers. And we say the phone numbers may contain 86 or 11. So this is the expression to look for phone numbers that contain the figures, the figures 86 and 11. And then we go down here. You have to watch how I have used the and or statement, because in the question we were told that employee name starts with either A or M. So that is an or statement or condition. One of them have to be met. Then the second one, it says their name or the phone number also contains 86 or 11. That's the second condition. One of them have to be satisfied. So that is also an or statement. But the three put together are supposed to be conditions that are necessary to be able to identify these suspicious characters. That is why I have put the and operator over there in my query. So let's go and execute this and see what it gives us. All wow. Okay, so here we are. There are actually two people that fit the description. There are actually two people that fit the description. The first one is the same Bello Azibu. And then the second one is Zuriel Matembo. These are the two suspicious characters that fit the description that, or field workers that fit the description that have been given. Let's see how they fit the description. 86 or 11. We have 86 in the phone number of Bello Azibo, and then we have 11 in the phone number of Matembo. Now, the next one is what? The name. Say the name is starting with what? Now they say the last name, actually, please let me correct this. The last name. So last name start with A or M. So you can see Bello Azibo's last name is starting with A, whilst Zuria Matembo is also the same, starting with M. Now they also meet another condition over here. What is the third condition they are supposed to meet? And the most important, to be field surveyors. So by now, you know what is going on. All right. So, like I promised, we are having a step-by-step approach to understanding the MCQ. We are not here to give answers to anybody. Oh, this is my screen. What is happening? Wow, 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 wow. Okay. Please let me know when it shows. I don't know what is happening. I think it's a connection here. Okay. Okay. So I understand we are back. So I believe I have captured this explanation over here already. I have captured this one already. So please take note of this before we go to the question number 7. The summary, oh, the summary is that, okay, so I believe we are online. Okay, good. The summary is that we are looking for 3 conditions that have to be met for any of these suspicious characters we are talking about. The first is to look for the position, or the position must be field surveyor. The employee's last name must start with A or M. Last name must start with A or M. And then the phone number must contain 86 or 11. And we can see from the results that our query has given us that Bello, Azibo, and Zuriel Matembo could be those suspicious, or actually are the suspicious field workers. So let's go to question number 7. What is the result of the following query? Choose the most appropriate description of the results set. So some um, queries have been written, and then we are asked to look for the one, or the results, sorry, the results that we get from the query. So it is just a matter of copying the query and then putting it into your your workbench and executing it so that you can return whatever answer that you are giving. So this one I think is the easiest one, because a query is written for you and then they ask you what is the results of the query. What do? You can either look at it and then tell what the results will be if you have the whole of the tables in your head. Otherwise, execute it in your workbench and you should be able to have the answer. So I'm just going to do that. This one, no long talk. It's very straightforward. Let's see what it returns when we execute it. So this is it. This is it. We have a count of 4954. 4954. So I'm not going to waste time on this. It doesn't need much explanation. Let's go. Otherwise, the query is counting the number of rows in the well pollution table. That's the explanation here. The query is counting the number of rows in the well pollution table where description like clean clean, the string clean starts, and then something biological is less than 0.01. That is basically the understanding of the identify the records with a quality score of 10 visited more than once. So in please let me know if we are back. Okay, so let's check now whether it is back again because I have reshared the screen. Okay. Okay, so are we back now? I believe we are back now. So let me not waste time at all. So question number 8 said which query will identify the records with a quality score of 10 visited more than once. Quality score of 10 visited more than once. So all we are asked is to say write a query that will go into the water quality table and return a score that is 10 and a visited more than once. So if you look at the quality, let's go to the quality water quality table. The water quality table have record ID, subjective quality score, and then visit count. So it is telling us what the quality score of that record ID is, and then how many times that particular should be shown. We looking for the ID of that source by what number. They said that the source never correct it. It put water source will not the answer. Let's look at the great aspect here. So we are looking at source ID and then we look for the number of people. Number of people what's the source ID has spread somewhere this couple of times, blah blah blah. It comes to the thing, yes, it comes to the thing, yes. I guess we have a few people here, so we'll just continue and then finish up with the other two questions that are left, and then we'll call it a day. Um, just a moment. I'm trying to get a feed, so I'm sure that we are all seeing the same thing. Okay, so I believe we have it. We are back. Hey. Okay, so question number 8 is here. Let me try to explain a little bit. Um, I think I was explaining question number 8 when we lost our feed or the connection. So, question number 8 say which query will identify the records with quality score 10 visited more than once. So, we are looking at the table that has quality score and then visit count. Which table is that? Let's look at this. We said this table has that subjective quality score and then visit count. So we are going to write a query to find out if there are some of the sources that recorded a quality score of 10 and which was visited for more than once. So that's what exactly we are going to do. So this is our query. We select all from the water quality table where subjective score is equal to 10 and visit count is greater than or equal to 2. And I said that you can also say greater than 1. Greater than 1 is 2 going. Equal to 2 or greater than 2 is also the same. All two situations will give you the same uh, answer, or we come to the same conclusion. So let me execute this and then we see. So we see the table over here. We see where we have subjective score to be 10 and then the visit count is more than 1 or 2 and above. So I'll not waste time. Let's go on the next one. The connection is not helping. So question number 9. Question number 9. They say you have been given a task to correct the phone number for the employee named Bello Azibo. The correct number is +99643864786. Write the SQL query to accomplish this. So we are supposed to update a record or some information within one of our tables by the mention of the employee name, phone number, and so on. You already know that you will be dealing with the employee table. So we are going to update the table by saying that the command is to update. We are not going to select because this time we are actually going to effect a change to our database. Now, the advice is that when you have such a situation where you are supposed to correct something in the database, it may be possible that maybe your initial appreciation of whether there is an error or not may be wrong. So it is always proper that that particular table in question, you do a copy of that table or create a copy of that table, and then with the copy, you can effect this change and see how it goes first before you go to the main database to do that update. But either way, this is the query that can help you to do that update. So when there is a record already and you want to correct something from the database that you have, you are actually going to update, maybe removing something there or maybe replacing something with another. So that is what we are going to do. We have update the MD water services employee. So we are looking for the employee table, set phone number equal so and so, and then where what's the condition, the employee name is equal to Bello Asibo. With this query, you are going to get the, if you like, the records updated. I'm not going to execute this query because I have not created the copy. So in another video, I'll capture how to look at creating the copy in your SQL workbench. So basically, this is what we are supposed to do. This is what you are supposed to look at. If you want to see what Bello Azibo is not, what his number looks like at the moment before the update, you can just put in Bello Azibo, and you can see from here, is it the same as what we have been given? This is 9964386478. Let me see. I think we have something similar. It could be that I have done the update already in when I was working on the questions, but practically, or we are advised to make sure that we do that copy before we execute such update. So please make sure that you do the right thing. Now, the last question on the bill is question number 10. How many rows of data are returned for the following query? How many rows of data are returned for the following query? So question number 10, when we talk about how many rows of the data are returned for the following query, it means that we have to execute the query and then see what the answer will be. So there, we are given a couple of queries, and you are supposed to find out what it will bring out. So this is it, and when you execute it, you should be able to find something. This is it. You just have to execute this query because say how many rows of data are returned for the following query. The query has been written for you already. All you need to do is to execute the query and then get your answer. So let's see what it brings if I execute this query. Awesome. So this query actually brings me 634. Please execute it and then look at the options that you have as your answer. If you have not changed anything over there, once you execute it, this one is counting rows in the well pollution uh, table where description, let me see if I still have not lost. Okay, I think we are still there. Okay, that's good. Okay, so where description in parasite is equal to this biologically contaminated, and then we have all resource is equal to clean and biological is greater than this. So when you execute it, you'll see the answer as one of the options that are provided. So gentlemen, gradually we have come to the end of our if you like, a brainstorming session on the MCQs. We came here to come and brainstorm, to share ideas on how we can be able to approach our MCQs. We didn't come here to come and give people answers to the questions. And I believe by now we can independently on our own attempt any data especially for practice, not to you'll be able to identify which of the multiple choice questions